Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with extra history. Today, well, we're off with some Scandinavian history with the goat of holiday animals, known as the Yule goat. Learn the name because it's in the description. So, yeah. I never heard of a Yule goat, but, well, let's just see what it does, or what's the deal with it, I guess. Be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Here we go.
A cozy Christmas Eve in Sweden, 1830. A warm glow flows through the peaceful home. A Yule log crackles on the hearth, warming the belly of a lounging cat. Her drowsy eyes blink as she purrs, while two children watch her huddled under a blanket.
Aww.
Snow piles up at the windows, and the smell of spiced wine's on the stove. Bang, bang, bang! Someone's at the door.
Huh?
The cat flips over, eyes wide, as the father of the children walks to the source of the clatter. He turns the knob, and the piece shatters.
What the?
Horned figures rush into the house, howling
The
and
heck?
screaming. Men wearing animal skins and goat skulls. Pagan chaos unleashed on Christmas.
Oh, wait.
By their merry yells, they sound half intoxicated. One then leaps up on the table and bleats, "Meh," as the others descend on the
What?
house's sweets and mulled wine. The children shriek. The cat yowls and scrambles under a table. Then the biggest goat holds out a present?
Huh?
What? Much toasting then commences, and when it's over, they depart one stronger. For the father of this house has now joined them, donning his own skins and mask, becoming part of the ancient spirit of Scandinavian Christmas, the Yule goat.
What was that? What was a drunken house invasion? What? Man, I wouldn't think of
This
kids.
episode
Like,
is
what
brought
the
to you by
hell was
80,000
that?
Hours, a phenomenal nonprofit that wants to help you find an impactful dream job. Happy holidays, extra historians!
Hello.
Come on over and join us as we get all hygge by the fire. That's Danish for cozy BT dubs. As we head to the snows of Scandinavia to discuss a unique Christmas tradition from Northern Europe, the Yule goat. God, I've been waiting for this one. A cultural practice which many believe has distant roots in pagan traditions. However, we should be a little cautious here, because
Okay.
while it's often assumed that the Yule goat, along with other holiday symbols like Krampus or Christmas trees, have a pagan origin, we should note that there's no direct chain of evidence for that. There are strong thematic similarities for sure, but we can't definitively prove a link. And of course, then there's
So,
the fact
yeah.
that many of these symbols have been Christianized for 1,500 years, which makes their origins even more fuzzy. But that's actually what makes
Yeah, that's the
Scandinavia
Christmas for
unique,
ya.
because
It just
Christianity
kicked off.
came to it relatively late. See, Christianity diffused into Europe via the Roman Empire and its remnants, but,
True.
well, the Romans were a Mediterranean people who weren't fans of the cold
Yeah, nope.
and felt like they didn't belong too far north. As a result, the area only fully converted in the Middle Ages around the years 1000 to 1100, so it's often
Makes
argued
sense.
they retained more of their pre-Christian cultural practices and stories. And interestingly, one animal is all over Norse beliefs.
Goats?
Goats!
Yeah.
The goat of animals, you might say. They are everywhere, from stories of sacrifices and feasts to mythology, something we know a little bit about. And
Yeah,
for this next
all
part,
right.
I'll put on the beanie for old time's sake. In Valhalla, a goat is said to stand chewing the leaves of an enchanted tree, shooting vast quantities of mead from its udders. It was this magical pit
sure.
alcohol that kept the dead heroes of Valhalla super buzzed through their eternal war/feast/keg party. Similarly, two enormous goats pulled Thor's chariot and
same.
feature in a story where Thor, while traveling, stopped overnight with a family. Wanting a feast, he killed his goats to be roasted, but he instructed the family that the skins must be flayed, stretched, and none of the bones broken. The next morning, Thor raised his hammer and resurrected both goats. Yay! But then found one was limping.
Oops.
Ooh. Yeah, one of the hosts had broken its leg bone to suck out the marrow.
Dude.
Furious, Thor seems
Oops.
about to destroy the family, but when they show contrition, he merely takes their children as his servants. Nice
Wow.
guy, Thor. Now there are folk.
Honestly, I think I would have just taken the kid who made, broke the bones, or at least figured out, okay, who came up with the idea of breaking the bone? You? Okay, you're coming with me for Charter's Lover 2. Come here. Yeah, I mean, hey, when Thor tells you to do something, you better do it. Otherwise, well, like I said, he'll just take you for a servant. Oops. What is with people that not listening to the God's advice? I swear. Still, I'm not sure what the heck was doing with that open party. Like, what the heck? Anyway.
Florists who connect this story with its themes of feasting, celebrations, and resurrection with the fact that
Okay.
Scandinavian Christmas is infested with goats. The
Meh.
theory goes that goats had a prominent place in pre-Christian midwinter celebrations, and that this was incorporated into Christian winter celebrations. Which, I mean,
Really?
like, maybe? Look, it's possible.
Again, no
but this theory is
primary
really more
sources.
about vibes than evidence, and we haven't done our first episode of Extra Vibes yet, so
Yeah,
there
no
it
vibes
is.
yet.
Though, let's be clear, that does not stop the top-tier goating about during Scandinavian Christmas. The most prominent appearance being the Yule goat decoration, a straw animal tied with red ribbons. Today, they're made in all sizes, used as decorations on Christmas trees and front doorsteps.
Okay.
Heck, they're so common that some years you can even buy them at IKEA. Canonically, where vibes go to die. I kid, I love my kludge. Traditionally, though,
never
these
been there.
Yule goats were made from the
I
last
did.
sheaf of grain as a symbol of the harvest being complete. And they're probably related to similar corn dollies made at harvest in England, then buried in the sowing season. Because remember, these areas are heavily related due to the Viking expansion, which you can learn more about in our complete series here. While mostly
cover that
decorative,
someday.
these also used to be part of an elaborate winter prank game. Someone
Prank
would make
game?
a large Yule goat, say the size of a dog, and then hide it around their neighbor's house, perhaps on their roof or in the backseat of their car. The victim, startled, would then be required to hide the goat for someone else. And this tradition of
like a
using Yule
chainmail?
goats as a form of prank has mutated into a bizarre legacy involving the most famous straw goat, the giant Yule goat erected annually in Gävle, Sweden. First
Gävle?
erected in 1966, the Gävle goat has graced the town square since, but only 16 times has it survived to Christmas. Every
really?
other year, vandals and pranksters have destroyed it, usually by burning it down. But why? Well, basically because it's flammable and people think it's funny. Most use it's a straightforward lighter situation, you know? But as authorities have tried to prevent it by chemically fireproofing the goat or soaking it with hoses so it iced over, the saboteurs too have become more inventive. One year it was hit by a car. Another year, two vandals dressed as Santa and a gingerbread man shot it with a flaming arrow. Another year, a new security system outfitting the area with cameras was taken offline in a hack before it was burned again. And in 1985, it was burned despite being guarded by soldiers. Please keep in mind,
Really?
this is expressly illegal. Burning the goat carries a hefty fine and even jail time. Yet people still do it. And as a result, the Gävle goat has become a world-famous tourist attraction, which probably is for the best since Gävle's only other claim to fame is connected to one of Sweden's nastiest witch trials. But it isn't all straw goats, you know? Until the early 20th century, as we depicted at the beginning of this episode, the quote, Yule goat would visit your house. This was known as Julebuking, and it was a sort of combination of wassailing and trick-or-treating. Like other traditions of this type, the Yule buckers would come by the house to sing and perform, and in return receive food and drink. And of course, much like wassailing, see last year's holiday episode for more on that. The menacing nature of the goat costume and the home invasion portion had a sort of undertone of pay up or we trash the place. In fact, it's been suggested performers were often seasonally unemployed agricultural laborers who needed extra help to get them through to planting time. Though Julebuking was unique in that one member of a visited house had to then costume up and join the rowdy procession as they carried on to the next location.
Really?
Yet again, much like with wassailing,
again,
as
like
Scandinavia moved into the mid-19th century, the Yule goats got less rowdy. First of all, they started bringing presents rather than taking them, serving as a kind of Santa-like gift-giving figure. Next, they started becoming more human. No one knows exactly why, but it's probably because the goat invasions were freaking terrifying. So the Yule goat didn't fill that role
switch
of
out the
a
goat
gift giver
helmet for
all
something
that
else,
well
it'd be
in
good
its
to go.
original form. At the same time as the 19th century progressed, media depictions of other Christmas gift-giving figures made popular in poetry, Christmas cards, and art started to take over the culture. Some were foreign. In certain parts of Scandinavia, the Yule goat morphed into the Yule man, a bearded figure influenced by the British Father Christmas and American Santa Claus.
There you go.
Yet, despite this transformation, in Finland, he's still called the Yule goat. And occasionally, pictures of this Yule man will have him riding a sleigh drawn by goats. So it's all tied together. In other countries, some gift-giving duties were passed on to folkloric elf-like creatures called Nisse in Norway and Tomte in Denmark, said to be household sprites that take care of plots of land. often
sweet.
portrayed in Christmas cards and wooden
Whee!
dolls, sometimes riding goats. These
And
creatures
all
have
connected.
become cuter in the last century, as well as adopting the red pointy hat from Santa Claus. I mean, look at them, they are pretty adorable. Which is just kind of super neat, right? Here we have winter traditions that may stretch all the way back to before written records, which have stuck around long enough to be shaped by Victorian moralism and mass media. Again, these are possibly ancient pre-Christian symbols that have survived so long that you can buy them at IKEA, which Rob has done. It sits beside his Krampus ornament, Niso figures, and Yule lad. Though
Aw,
he is
cute.
still holding out for that Catalonian poop log. Those things are apparently hard to come by in Hong Kong.
Poop log?
Maybe we can get him one in the mail. But whatever figure helps you celebrate the season, whether it's a Krampus, Kagatillo, Frau Persta, the Yule goat, or a very, very wax-caked menorah or Kinara. All of us at Extra History wish you and yours the happiest
Happiest
of holiday
holiday.
seasons and hope that your new year is truly the GOAT.
Amen,
Of course,
brother.
a greatest of all.
Amen. Talk about an early Christmas wish, so that's good. So, let me know what you guys think. Till next time, hope you enjoyed. See ya.